Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of El Pachuco Chronicles. And once again, I'm your co-host Jim Ruel, and I'm once again with Vanessa Estrella.
Thank you, Jim. And we got a couple interesting people sitting at the table here today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, yes. My name is Jesse, a.k.a. El Pachuco Muerto.
What does that mean?
El Pachuco Muerto Zoot Suiter extraordinaire. Pretty much I'm dressed up in my Zoot suit. In remembrance of, my family and ancestry and
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, Day of the Dead. I paint my face and I wear a Zoot suit.
So how did you get that name? Like, did you just do it once and you really cling to it, or what happened?
What happened was, so it started off, I can't remember, a few years ago. Number one, me and my wife always loved Day of the Dead. We always celebrated. We got the Natal, we do everything. And, coming from, it's kind of like a deep-rooted thing for me where, on my mom's side of the family, everybody's like second generation.
Okay.
On my dad's side, I'm first generation.
Okay.
And it's my dad's side, it's Mexicano, puro Mexicano, and then over my mom's side, it's Chicano power, and it's always everybody's always talking about Zoot Suit and the times of the Zoot Suit riots and everything that's happened in the past in the history, and so I've always felt what if I did something where I can pay homage to our culture and our roots, and that's kind of what I came out with. And I was like, I think.
And you've taken some beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
Dressed up, very artistic.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're being a little modest. What else do you do?
I also do some painting. I used to do a lot of painting before, mostly abstract graffiti painting, and also I'm also a videographer as well. So I do a lot of video work. Yeah.
Great photographer and filmer,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that also go by Zuela Force because I'm a videographer. So
see,
so when I'm shooting video, I'm Zuela Force.
And so you're here today. We're in the lobby of El Pachuco again, and he's here and he's getting a suit, he's going to be coming out with us for the Las Vegas car show in October 5th, and I was looking at him and I was like, you're dressing up, so that means you're not going to be filming. Damn.
Yeah.
And I haven't been invited to go. So I think if anyone's to blame here, no, I was kidding.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's I feel like because I love shooting things, that's what I love doing. It's my passion. I feel like anytime, especially an event like this, it's kind of hard for me. It's I can't really do two things at once.
It's a lot. It's hard.
Yeah.
Well, just when you walk in, you see the layout. It's humongous and a ton of people. I don't know, it's just because it's Vegas, but you can't even walk through. Also, do you remember? Oh, we also have another person here sitting at the table. Who do we have sitting here? Tell us who you are.
Elsa Estrella.
Estrella. Okay, and Elsa goes with us everywhere we go, and she went to the Super Show last year in Vegas. Do you remember seeing the sea of people and how we had to walk through them? Remember that?
All I remember is going to a lot of places with Zoot Suits and a lot of people that would talk a lot.
So not only was it hard just to get to the stage, but I couldn't imagine carrying gear and then being dressed up and then trying to get the camera set up. And it's like you said, because your wife's told us, she said it's hard on the body, because he's moving, he's, trying to stretch, and he can't do both.
Yeah. And then doing
cameras get heavy.
Yeah.
I would be surprised.
I know. And I was like, that's not humanly possible.
Big old lens on it.
So I was like, but maybe we could set up a camera. That would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
So have you ever a lot of people like Day of the Dead. Have you ever been to Mexico and experienced the Day of the Dead thing?
No, and I'm glad you bring that up right now. But this year would be the first year that we actually have planned to go to Oaxaca. So me and my wife, we're going to Oaxaca. We're going to go experience the festivities and the way they celebrate the tradition. And yeah, just go experience it and, be a part of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember taking a Spanish class in my first year in college, and my wife would help me because that's the only way I'd pass. And her experience, I remember our teacher telling us her experience, and she didn't like Day of the Dead because they would actually have to go and put the bodies back in the coffins because they didn't bury them deep enough.
What?
And the bodies were all there exposed. Yeah. And she says that we would literally have to be picking up bones and putting them back in so they could celebrate Day of the Dead. And I just always remember that story. I'm like, is that really what it is? But after I learned a little bit more, but I always remember her telling us that story, how she hated November 2nd because the week before they'd have to go and put all the bodies back.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. I
was like, people, she's like, they didn't bury them enough and the animals would come and dig them up.
Wow. Yeah, I never knew that.
Right? So I was like, well, that's when I wanted to hear what you had to say when you said that we're going to go experience it.
Maybe bring some gloves.
I'll put that on the list.
Well, that's cool. You're going to go over there and experience it?
We're going to go.
How long are you going for?
We're going to go for like 8 days. We're going to go there for a while, so we're going to spend a good time. Are you going to be there
for actual November 2nd?
No, actually that day we're coming back. But the day before, I know there's festivities around the beginning of like 29th.
Yes.
On the 1st as well. So we're going to be there that entire duration. So we'll be able to get a good, good feel of everything.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Vanessa sets up a whole thing here too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Nice.
Sets up a whole,
like a whole altar.
Cousins.
Wow. Yeah, we have an altar in our living room, and it's there year round.
So that's your thing. That's your thing.
We got all our loved ones there, dressed up, and then like fixed up, with the what's that called? Oh my God, I can't remember the name right now. The flower, the campasuchi, and the orange. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's Vanessa. She would tell us.
Brandy saying Magnolia, but I don't even know if that's right.
So Jesse's here getting another suit today here at El Pachuco. So he's getting ready for the show, and this show's gonna be a really fun show. So,
awesome. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm definitely excited because I remember going to the one here in Long Beach or over there in Long Beach.
Yes, was that your first show?
That was the first one.
Really?
Yeah, I remember when I went up on stage.
I remember getting you in.
I got stage fright. I was like, what do I do? I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to do this pose right here. I'm like, move over there. And then all of a sudden.
But I thought you went to film.
Oh, no, that was another one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this one was
because I know
prior to this one.
One passed.
Yeah, this one was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I came up as Pachuco Muerto and I was dressed up.
How did that go? I mean, how did they receive you?
Cool. I feel I got some good.
I wasn't there that day. I had to be here. I wasn't there. So.
Yeah, I got a good response from the crowd. I feel like I did.
Good.
And it was really cool. Yeah, it was a cool experience. That was my first time ever coming out in a show like that, and then coming off was really cool too.
Yes.
And you got people.
And how did the walk? Like, did you stay a long time after the show? Because people are going to want a lot of pictures with you when you go.
Yeah. Well, on the way out, we had I had an event to go shoot afterwards. So it's like, now it's like on the way out, then I had people who were like,
hey, you're going to get mobbed.
Yeah. So then I had to take off. I tried to leave, but it took a little while to get up. Yeah.
No, it's hard. You get mobbed.
Yeah.
So, okay. Yeah, all right. Any other questions, Jim, that we...
Yeah. How did you get into videography, and what do you like to do with that?
Videography. Well, it's a long story. But
he's an awesome film. Awesome film. Yeah.
Well, it started with the GoPro.
I have a GoPro that I can't use. I don't know how to use it.
Yeah. My wife got me a GoPro and then started taking it all over the place with me. I even wore
How long have you been married?
We've been married for 5 years already, babe? But we've been together for...
We got married in 2019.
Yeah, 2019,
nice.
2019. Yeah, just before the pandemic hit.
What could go wrong? Let's just get married.
Yeah. We did a pre-honeymoon because we were supposed to go to Bora Bora the following year.
Oh, no.
I think it was in January, February.
Yes.
And we're like, if we didn't go on our pre-honeymoon, then we wouldn't have been able to experience our actual honeymoon, Bora Bora. Yeah. So it's a good thing we went. We took off that.
Wow.
We went to Cancun for that one.
Nice. I mean, I can imagine a lot of weddings were canceled.
Yeah.
A lot of things life was canceled.
It was. That's true. Yeah.
So you got into film because somebody bought you a GoPro.
Yeah. My wife got me the GoPro, and then I started taking it all over the place, and then all of a sudden I started getting into drones, and then from there it just started building up.
Oh, so you do work with drones too?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I work with drones. I don't have the pilot license, but I need to work on that part.
Where's Springfans located?
Yeah, then you can take gigs.
No.
I think in Southgate.
In Southgate.
Yeah.
Off of Tweety. Yes. That's a plug for you, Evan from Greenspans. Your place is located in Southgate off of Tweedy.
So the GoPro, was that like, did you do like, because friends of mine that use that usually like they're skaters or something like that. So were you doing like action shots with it, or was just happened to be the camera you had?
I had a lot of friends that were really into bikes, like
Yeah.
Harley Davidsons.
Oh,
so they
okay.
would ask me, they're like, "Hey, could you come over and you want to shoot some?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll take some video." And then after a while, people started approaching me. They're like, "Hey, how much do you charge?" And I was like, "What? How much do I charge?" I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, you tell me.
And then it just started. Yeah, started going from there. Then I started building, and then I started getting into DSLR cameras.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got some big investments in this.
Real
Yeah.
organic
Oh, yeah.
career. That's pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No, you're an awesome photographer and, film. I remember that little thing you gave us. That was awesome.
That was a fun day. I loved it.
That was a lot of work. I saw you, dude. You had a lot of stuff, and you're right in the middle there.
Yeah.
That was a lot of work.
There's times where I do festivals where it's like 3 days straight. And I'm working like 12, 14-hour shifts. So you're all over
My
the place.
goodness.
So you got to make sure you bring plenty of batteries, power banks, everything, memory. Yeah, everything you can think of. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But it takes its toll on the back after a while. So, yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, that's cool. We have another person here, JR.
Ray.
Come have a seat with us. No, you stay here. That's
No, I was just scoot over and make some space right real quick.
This is Jesse, Dad. He's one of our filmographers.
met already.
My dad just walked into
doing?
the shop, and so who do we have sitting here?
Ray Estrella Sr., the dad.
And you were with us on the first podcast. And that was it, or no? And then you came with us when Oscar came to talk.
I think Oscar, you guys just interviewed Oscar, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is podcast number 9, and tell us another story about Pachuco, like, because we're obviously doing the El Pachuco Chronicles. What other story that have you not told us that we'd like to hear?
And how does it feel to be famous from this podcast? Is that really getting in the way of your life? Are you able to still go like grocery shopping without getting mobbed?
Yes,
Or
it's a hassle.
you got to wear a
It's a
hat?
hassle.
Jess, if you need, I see your wife looking. If you need to step over there for a second,
that's cool.
feel free.
Yeah.
Or does she want to
No, we're good. She hasn't given me the sign.
I know you got paid.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of stories to our story, and going back to how we got started, and every day literally is a story. We get a chance to meet so many nice and interesting people, literally from all over the world, and we've made a lot of friendships, a lot of longtime friendships. One of the guys.
Well, speaking, hold on. When you say that, I think of today we have Vanessa's fundraiser for the kickoff for the campaign, and when you're old, Lou Correa is going to be here.
Okay.
And how long have you known him?
I've known Lou probably 40 years.
Now, were you guys in the service together, or how'd you guys meet?
No. I met him in the community. He was always active in the community, and I met him before he ever ran for office.
Oh, really?
So I knew him.
And you worked with him for a little bit.
I worked, and then when I was still working as a banker, he needed some help with outreach for veterans. So my boss loaned me to him for about 6 months. So I worked out of his office.
And Lou is what does Lou do for this community? Our community.
Lou is our congressman. He's
Okay.
our congressman.
Schedule an appointment.
And he is probably on his 4th or 5th term, but he is our congressman.
Wow. Well, so he goes to D.C.
He's in D.C. He has a field office in Santa Ana, but he works out of D.C.
Wow. Okay. So go back to your other story. I didn't know who you were alluding to, because you said you meet a lot of people, and you were.
Well, some of them you've covered already in your chronicles, and some of the friendships. Oscar Relas is one of them. I've known Oscar over 50 years. And we met because of lowriding. We met originally because of cars, but because of what we did with the Zoot Suit, trying to promote the Zoot Suit. At the same time, within months, of each other, Lowrider magazine got started
Yeah.
about the same time we did. So they were very busy promoting it, going to car shows and so on, and so were we. So we were all like a band of gypsies going to wherever the car show was. And Oscar and the Dukes were always supportive of Lowrider magazine. So we formed a lot of long-lasting friendships.
And you knew Sonny that started.
I met Sonny after he started the magazine. I made it a point to fly up to San Jose, and
Now, wasn't it at one point that I heard that they were renting one of our houses?
yes, I got to know both Sonny and Larry. Larry Gonzalez was the co-founder of Lowrider. I got to meet them both, and I became very close friends with Sonny over time. And whenever I would go up north, I would go there because there was a lot of coordination to be done for our ads. We had no idea, them or us, how to go about doing an ad. We literally had to create an ad from nothing, and it was hand drawn by Teen Angel.
Wow.
Our first ad was hand drawn by Teen Angel in
I never
Lowrider
knew that.
magazine.
That's cool.
I never knew that.
That's a fun
And,
fact right there.
It was hand drawn, and we first started out in working with Lowrider magazine. We started, in fact, we placed the first ad ever.
It's in the best of show at the Peterson.
Yeah, we first
You'll
ad
see the
paid
first
ad
writers and our
was-
ads are in there.
by us, and Teen Angel had hand drawn a hat. And this is a guy. In fact, I think it's over here. There's a guy standing holding a hat, and it was hand drawn
Yeah.
by Teen Angel.
That's we have those somewhere. I know we have them.
That's the original
I know
ad.
Phil has them somewhere.
And then from that, your grandpa made a chain one day out of the clear blue sky. He made a chain, a Zoot Suit chain. And we said, "Hey, let's try it." And we started selling like hotcakes. We started selling,
And we're still
chains.
selling them like
Yeah.
hotcakes.
But he made the first one. He made the first one himself.
Wow.
And so no, our days with Lowrider go way back, way back.
You know, speaking of Peterson, they've asked us to do a fashion show in January or February. So we're gonna be picking some hand-selected people to go over there to the Peterson Museum and in their area there where the best of show is, and do Vanessa's gonna host a fashion show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I hope you're around. You too, Jim. It'll be
And I hope you like cars.
I love
kind of
cars.
the theme.
Yeah.
You could dress up. Jim will be around that day too, filming.
Cool.
Since it's close by. I don't know we're taking you to Vegas yet, Jim.
No, not this October. Fabio would not be pleased with that.
Well, that's any other story, Dad? I mean, 'cause
Well, there was a lot of aspects to our story. You have to remember.
not only getting the ads, but finding the tailors,
Well,
getting the
that's-
place.
I mean,
We went over the tailors.
we have
Yes.
we have to break it down into probably 12 different segments of what had to be done, because not to brag, but before us there was nothing, not even the concept. So when the idea first came up, we had to introduce the concept, and that was through Lowrider. That was, again, it was a plan that we hadn't even figured out yet. We were figuring out
As we
on
went
a
along.
day-to-day basis
Yes.
as we went. So our basic advertising was Lowrider magazine, and we started out with the things I told you, the hats and the chain. Eventually, you have to remember that nothing existed. Nothing existed. So we started, I don't recall whose bright idea it was for us to start trying to sell Zoot Suit pants. They didn't exist. But somehow we did, and I don't know how, but we found a little tailor shop in Santa Ana. And it was more of a sweatshop than a tailor shop. Anyway,
Yeah, Jesse. That's
the
okay.
guy had.
Thank you, Jesse. Hold on. Thank you, Jesse, for sharing your story.
Thank
we
you
hope
for-
to talk with you more, and
catch some more stories.
especially after Vegas. We want to see what you think.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you.
Nice.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Appreciate
Thank you for
everything you
having me on
do,
here.
helping out with Vanessa's campaign.
Definitely.
Thank you. I
Do
appreciate
you write it all,
All right, guys.
Jesse?
Thank you.
Just real quick, do you write at all?
Do I write?
Did you do painting? You do filmmaking? Do you do any writing on?
I don't do any writing.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I would like to though.
Okay.
I'm so busy though. It's like
Good to
you know.
know.
Yeah.
You know, because he's film. He's
Well,
always,
we've talked about
yeah.
kind of doing like a next generation, like what if we made the Zoot Suit play today, like the kids of the Zoot Suit.
Oh, okay, like a modern.
What would that? Yeah.
Modern day
What would those
Zoot
stories be?
So
And
he
that's-
wants to get some artistic.
Yeah,
heads
as
in
we
here
hear
and start-
as we hear stories of everyone talking about it, that's starting to some things are starting to percolate in my head. But it'd be I would love it to be like a community, almost like a community-based collaborative writing project.
Nice. Yeah. That'd be sweet.
Maybe even a series or something like that instead of a single
Yeah. It's a great idea.
single
man.
play.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. So when
All right. And you're the fil- and you have a
he always has
you're a
100
filmmaker.
ideas after we're done. You
Yeah.
got to do this. We got to do this. Like,
Well, we got a film person on, so I'm excited. It's exciting to me.
well, thank you.
Hey guys, thank you
Appreciate
guys
it.
for having me
Thank
on.
And we'll see you soon.
Cool. Alrighty.
Thank you,
guys.
Jesse.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
You gonna be around tonight or no?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Great.
So-
Because I was hoping he could cover for me.
Dad, I know you're talking about tailors. Do you remember how we were able to acquire Sanchez?
No, I don't.
You.
I honestly don't recall. I think
that's a story that Phil has to tell us.
we met Sanchez through somebody else,
Through Mendoza.
I looked at her because
Julian.
Yes. Because Julian was working at
What I
Universal.
recall now was that Julian, when he was involved in the movie,
Yeah.
Sanchez was
Yes.
involved in
Yeah.
the tailoring, and that's
And
how
well,
I think.
Julian had already acquired him because he was already making pants for Julian
Yeah.
and for some
So
time.
It was through Julian. It was
Okay.
through Julian. But the tailor shop, how we found our tailor was someone had told me,
You're talking about Edmundo.
yeah, Galvan.
We've shared that story.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
we've shared that story.
Okay.
So I thought you were telling us about maybe because he had other tailors come. Because I remember seeing other tailors there.
Well, there was a bunch of tailors at that tailor shop, but they were not all good. Mr. Galvan was the best.
But I remember being little and in the
and
shop,
Mr.
you had
Galvan-
other people there.
When we first got started, we started out with a big bang, and we had 6 or 7 tailors at one time.
Why don't you
rented
ever do
out-
that again? I heard you guys would never do that again
Well, that's a lot of hassles, huh?
because they wouldn't get along.
Well, no, but that's one of the minor
Were
problems.
they dating? Did they start? No.
Well, the logistics involved. I mean, I had to find a place to rent.
Yeah.
I had to find a place for them to live. I had to find them equipment. It's just a lot of hassle. It's a lot of hassle, a lot of logistics
But I remember
involved.
you had a big area in the back where they all worked.
When
Orange
we opened up over here on Orange Fair Mall, we had a huge bay. Our bay was
It's like I had a vision.
probably
I mean,
30 feet wide by 60 feet long. A deep bay. So we cut it off into sections, and I made a section in the back where we had 5 or 6 tailors working.
I remember being
They were
seeing
there
a lot of
working.
tailors.
So we had a jewelry store in the front. We had a jewelry store. That's where we started the clothing in the back. We started the hat business out of there, the chains, the mail order. But the sewing started there.
Oh, okay.
And we had 5 or 6 tailors.
So they weren't anywhere else. It all started at
Well,
Orange Fair.
they started out at a little apartment. I rented a little apartment over there off of Bush Street, and then eventually when we got our jewelry store, I would put them in the back.
Again, all our zoot suits are made here in California with our own tailors that we know and that we trust. Hand tailored. Yeah. We have ready-made suits that we order, but we also, most of our bulk of our suits are custom made. You know, people come in every day ordering different colors. They see all the different ways that we can make them with all these different wild colors. So it's pretty interesting to hear that what they want. You know?
I love it. I love when, especially like Vanessa's designs, because she seems to me like peak, like because she gets, you know, she knows all aspects of it. She's able to look at all the fabrics, and you know, she's mixing sleeves material with.
You've been there firsthand to go shopping with her, and you spent the whole day with her in LA, just going from place to place to place, and it's a long day.
It was incredible. Yeah. And like to see like a truck roll up and unload a full load of these rolls of fabric that I couldn't even lift one, and there's a crew of dudes like just holding them on their shoulder and running to drop them off and then running back and getting another one. I'm like,
so it's not like we just come up, you know, with ideas.
That's
like
work. There's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work involved.
That leads to the work. There's so much. It's.
We didn't know how much work there was involved in making a suit.
It's incredible. Yeah.
So, and it's all
something. It's
what we think
else.
of in our head. You know, it's pretty interesting.
But yeah, watching her expertise at, you know, knowing the fabrics, knowing the right fabrics.
Yes, because a lot of these other suits that are made like our tablecloth, you know, and they can't hold the weight, they can't hold the form, right?
Well, a lot of people think they know what a zoot suit is, and you know,
and God bless them. You know,
and a lot of people, they have their concepts, they have their ideas. But the zoot suit is one basic design: high-waisted, long coat, wide at the knee, and the variations, you know, can be. Some people have the craziest fabric you can think of designs. Hey, God bless them, that's their choice. But there is one basic zoot suit design, and we follow the original design from the 30s. That is our basis, has never changed.
Well, I always kind of think of it as I call my mom Phil, because when we're here and I start calling her mom in the shop, people will be like, "Hey, is that your mom? Can you give me a discount?" So I call my mom Phil, and to me, I always think of it as Phil's design, because she made it a little bit more exaggerated, because a lot of the real zoot suits were fingertip, you know, but Phil, she made it a little bit more exaggerated with the shoulders, a little bit exaggerated with the jacket, the pants a little bit more wider, the ankles a little bit more, you know. She really changed. I think she really changed the game.
Well, there is no basic zoot suit. A person can have it,
because when you see like the Zoot Suit movie, when you see Daniel Valdez wearing the white one, you notice his jacket, it's rounded.
Yeah,
you know, so there's a lot of different.
Well, there's a lot of variations. It all depends.
But the basic is a long jacket.
It's a long coat below the knees.
Yes.
High waisted above your belly button, broad shouldered, padded. So you can vary it many ways.
And this is a dying art. I mean, it's hard now to find a tailor.
Well, tailoring is a dying art.
Okay, you're good to go, and I'll call you.
There's very few, if any, tailors left, and those that are left are specialized and are very expensive. A true tailor-made, handmade suit will run $2,000-$3,000 easy.
Yes.
Because of the fine tailoring involved, and
ours start at $950, between $850 and $950. Just letting you know.
See, and that's nothing against anybody. I mean, you get what you can afford, but fine tailoring, it exists, but it costs a lot of money.
Oh, I know.
And
we've been so fortunate and lucky to find the people that we found. You know,
we were very fortunate to find.
Thank you, guys. See you again. Thank you.
See ya. Bye bye.
Jesse and his wife are leaving, so thank you.
So we were fortunate in that, again, God helping us. By accident, we happened to stumble across a genuine tailor, who
Master
came
tailor.
from a long line of tailors. His whole family had been tailors, and he came with us, and he was with us till he passed. He was with us over 30 years.
He didn't like to go to the doctor.
And
He didn't think they knew what they're talking about.
It was because of him that our patterns were created. Nothing is going to happen without a pattern.
Right.
And patterns for zoot suits do not exist.
He made the patterns.
Yes.
He made the patterns.
We have those in a locked vault.
I know
It's a lost art.
And my sister was going to go to fashion design, and she always talked about the pattern makers as being like the peak of tailoring, knowing how to do pattern making.
When we used to go into Los Angeles looking for pattern makers, if we could find one, they were like a super class that they wouldn't even talk to you. They wouldn't even talk to you. They were hard to get them to do anything for you. You ordered something, you were lucky if you got it in 6 months. But like I say, finding him, he created all of our patterns.
Wow. And then Sanchez was we were
also fortunate to find another gentleman that specialized in making men's pants.
Yeah, and that was Jose Sanchez.
In the original style. And he was with us for years until he passed.
Yes.
But
miss him. Think about him a lot.
We got we had many fortunate things happen to us.
What are you looking for?
To help us decide. I mean, like, I don't know how I ever found a hat manufacturer in Oakland. To this day, I don't remember how I did it. But I would I would rent a 12-foot trailer.
Pants and a belt and a shirt?
I would go to, what's the trailer place?
U-Haul.
I would go to U-Haul on a Friday night.
I remember you going to U-Haul.
I would go to U-Haul. I would work.
And leaving in the middle of the night.
I worked at the bank, and the bank would close at 6. I would close up the bank, and I'd go get a U-Haul, bring it back, load it up, load everybody up, and we'd hit the road 9, 10 o'clock at night. We'd start driving to wherever we were going to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes we wouldn't get there till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Get an hour or two rest, do a car show.
Come back home.
Saturday, Sunday, and then come home Sunday afternoon. And we did that for years. But that's how
we lived out of that brown van. We have a picture of that van in our lobby here.
We had a brown van that, unbelievable. It took us, I think we took it as far as, you took it to Utah, we took it to Wyoming.
Didn't we take it to Mexico?
Huh?
Did we take it to Mexico? No.
Yeah.
We took it to Mexico.
It went to Mexico a couple times. But that van, who knows where it's at, but that van.
With no power steering.
No power steering.
Oh.
And
it was a beast, man. It set like about 9 of us, I think, in that van.
We would carry 9, 10 people in it and tow a trailer.
What a beast.
It was a beast. And then somebody would make a paper thing to put on the side of it that El Pachuco was coming. They tape it to the side of the van. And El Pachuco Zoot Suits was on its way, and it was all paper. They wrote it with the marker.
Oh, cool. Just hope it didn't rain on the way.
It did.
Oh.
It did. Half it'd be off by the time we got there. So no, it was we lived out of that van. So,
but through all that, we gained the experience. We built a market. People came to recognize us, and
We'll start with that.
and here we are.
and I remember, we how do we meet Choi? Roman.
The jacket too, because we have pastors by themselves.
I don't know how we met, Joe. Your mom knows that story.
Yeah, I don't know, because he was another tailor.
Another tailor.
He would just make jackets.
And I don't know.
He was
how
one of
we
the
met,
best
Joe.
tailors too.
I don't know how
he's
we
still
met.
alive. He's just not with us anymore. He's not here.
Well, he retired.
He retired. He moved to the Philippines and left.
Oh,
Yeah.
He was from the Philippines.
Yeah, really nice guy. Really nice. I love tennis. But no. Okay. Thank you, Dad, for sharing the stories with us. And you have anything else you want to bring up, Jim?
no, I think that was great. I think that's just foundational. The tailors are finding the right tailor.
The
Sounds like it was
lowrider. It was all coming together.
just key. No, I know I have other questions, but I think that we'll save that for future episodes.
We should talk at some point a little bit about the dance company we had, the visitations to the high schools, the talks we used to give at school. We used to go to the schools to give talks on the Zoot Suit.
Yes, that's right.
A lot of stuff that we did.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you,
right.
Jim.
Yeah, we'll save that. We'll have that for a future episode for
Yes,
sure.
yes, definitely.
Pachuco
Dance that
Chronicles.
we did.
Did you go and make
Bring my sister Raina in for that one.
I'll go get some.
That may wrap up this episode. We'll see. We might
We'll
have
see.
some people
We never know
coming
who might
in.
show up today. Thank you, Dad.
Big girls.
So thank you all very much for tuning in for another episode of Pachuco Chronicles. Want to thank Ray and everybody here.
Jesse and
Jesse and Ray.
Okay, so
Rays. And also Pachuco Jose once again for providing our intro and outro music for this.
And thank you, Jim, for
Let him know
providing all the
that.
equipment and showing us the way.
Yeah, we got new cables, so that's you can tell who has which mic.
And we're going to bring Phil in here one day and tell us some more stories. So she's being modest right now. She's trying to sell a suit. So
I guess there's a business happening here. I'm not sure what they do here, but there's something going on.
thank you, Jim.
rock that boogie, rock that boogie, rock that boogie.